You are getting 100% Jodi on Women Taking the Lead. I can tell you I've had some wild experiences when I have intentionally sat quietly to ask my inner voice for guidance. It is usually around a current challenge I'm faced with, or it's a request for a creative idea. Hello, my name is Jodi Flynn and welcome to Women Taking the Lead, where we are all about creating blasts of inspiration to help you overcome self-doubt so you can lead with confidence, integrity, and a sense of humor. Head over to womentakingthelead.com to join the community and get the resources to support you on your leadership journey. Now, your future awaits, so let's get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me, and hello, November. The countdown is on to the holidays, and when I think of the holidays, I think of busy. And I want to share with you an insight I had recently around the whole concept of busy. I, like many of you, dream of a time in the near future when things will settle down and there'll be an opportunity to move at a slower pace and enjoy a phase where not much is going on. The insight I had was that there really is no slow time of year. Sure, certain activities slow down at certain times of year, but then other activities creep in to take their place. I remember when I was in my office job, summer was a slow time of year in terms of how much mail we were getting, so the day-to-day workload was lighter. However, this was also the time of year many people were taking vacation, so it wasn't uncommon to have weeks where we were staffed at 70% or less. This was also the time of year projects needed to be completed because we didn't have time for them the rest of the year. Now that summertime is over and the kids are back at school and we're not yet in the thick of the holidays, you would think this would be a time of year when things slow down. I don't know about you, but I'm as busy as ever. I've mentioned before we had our BNI chapter leadership transition, and the Maine Women's Conference has been in a recruiting phase for board members and volunteers. And in my business, there have been a surge of networking events and meetings because now is the time everyone has to give to their businesses. They are typically not distracted by vacations, staffing issues, back to school, holiday parties, etc. My point is, I'm thinking we need to give up the notion that there will be a time when we are not busy. This may sound like bad news, but it actually gives you some freedom. Knowing you will always have things that will occupy your time, you can now make a choice on what will take up your time. Use your time for the things that bring you satisfaction, fulfillment, and even enjoyment. And don't give it to things that feel like a burden or an obligation. Also, you and I have a choice in how we feel about how we are spending our time. There is nothing inherently wrong with being busy if you like what you're spending your time on. And you're not dropping balls and being all scattered and unreliable. Busy is only a negative if what is keeping you busy is taking you away from what's important to you or causing you to lose credibility or relationships with other people. If that resonates, you, my friend, have some decisions to make. If it doesn't feel in alignment with who you are and how you want to live, change it. And you know what? This isn't even the topic for today's episode. It's just my random thoughts. However, it's not a bad lead-in because today I'm continuing my review of Tara Moore's book, Playing Big. I don't even know if review is the right word. Rather, I'm listening to the audio version of Playing Big and sharing some of the content that jumped out at me and my thoughts on it. This time, I want to talk about Chapter 2, which is titled The Voice of Inner Wisdom. I've heard this, air quotes, voice referred to in many ways. Tara calls it the inner mentor, but I've also heard it called the or your inner voice, the inner coach, guardian angels, or the Holy Spirit. It doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that you recognize it as something that we all have inside of us that allows us to tap into universal wisdom. It's interesting that this has come up in the book Playing Big because I've also been engaged with this concept through the podcast, The Lively Show with Jess Lively. In season 5 of The Lively Show, Jess Lively has been on-air coaching volunteers from her community by helping them to distinguish between their ego self and their inner voice. In these sessions, Jess is helping these women. They all just happen to be with women, though Jess coaches men as well. But Jess is helping these women to hear and communicate with their inner voice, which gives them simple and direct messages that leave them feeling at peace about the past, at peace with where they are now, and at peace with where they are going. As opposed to the complicated, dramatized, long list of things we think we need to do all at once, dictated by our ego self, the inner voice provides very simple next steps. From what I've heard on these episodes, this guidance from the inner voice has left these women being coached feeling calm about moving forward and ready to take action. Tara Moore claims that listening to the inner mentor instead of the inner critic is the first of the major shifts that enable us to move from playing small to playing big. We move from giving our attention to the inner critic voice and giving it to the inner mentor voice, from taking direction from the inner critic to receiving the wisdom of the inner mentor. You have free wisdom at your fingertips. It's time for you to start hearing and listening to your inner mentor so you can start taking the easy path to playing bigger. Can you believe you have right within you a source of comfort, peace, and love? Know that this inner voice would never tell you to push, work harder, or take care of more people to your own detriment. It's not to say other people can't be taken care of. It's just the inner mentor does not see how your unhappiness, exhaustion, or worry could possibly help other people. Often, when we take a step back, we find there is a better solution than for you to give and give and give until you don't recognize yourself anymore. Tara Moore emphasizes that the inner mentor does not replace an external mentor. Both are valuable, and the inner mentor can be a complement to the external mentor. Let's take a moment here to talk about one of my loves, Text Expander. And especially for those of you who work on teams or have teams, this is a tool you don't want to miss out on because it can multiply your team's productivity, making up-to-date shared knowledge available instantly. Using Text Expander, all of your team's common responses are accessible and searchable through simple abbreviations and keyboard shortcuts. They can be written and edited by your best writers, so you don't have to worry about somebody who's not a great writer sending out a garbled message. These messages and snippets are also available on multiple platforms, including macOS, iOS, Windows, and the web. And when they're updated immediately everywhere. If you're on a team, Text Expander will change your life, leaving more time for what you do best. And for larger teams, Text Expander supports single sign-on or SSO and grouping accounts to make onboarding a breeze. And for 20% off your first year, go ahead and visit textexpander.com/podcast and select Women Taking the Lead as the podcast you heard about Text Expander. Again, that's textexpander.com/podcast. Okay, back to talking to our inner voice. Okay, how to access your inner mentor. The instructions I got from a former coach of mine was to go quiet, close my eyes, and focus on my breathing until I felt settled. Then I was to ask a question and listen hard, as if I was trying to hear and understand someone who is speaking softly in a noisy room. Jess Lively coached her on-air volunteers to become aware of their heart and their gut, whichever region they tended to receive intuitive messages through. And as she asked questions, she guided them to imagine their focus going down, out of their head and into their heart or gut. She also gave pointers to distinguish between the ego self and the inner voice. For example, the ego self uses a lot of words and explanations, whereas the inner voice will be concise, sometimes giving 1 or 2 word answers. The ego voice also comes from a place of worry and concern, whereas the inner voice exudes calm. If you are a writer or like to journal, you can also write to your inner mentor instead. Don't judge the answers that come back, whether you're doing this in meditation or journaling. Sometimes your ego will get freaked out by how simple the answers are and immediately try to complicate the solution. If you want to have Tara guide you through a visualization, you can find that in the audiobook version of her book, or there is a link to supplemental materials in the Kindle or paperback versions. And she also has prompts for journaling and reflection. I can tell you I've had some wild experiences when I have intentionally sat quietly to ask my inner voice for guidance. It is usually around a current challenge I'm faced with, or it's a request for a creative idea. Many of my presentations and workshops are crafted with the help of my inner voice. And without a doubt, my book, Accomplished: How to Go from Dreaming to Doing, came from inner wisdom. Not even the outline was done without inner guidance. I didn't sit down to one writing session without first asking my inner voice what I needed to share to help other ambitious, hardworking women overcome their self-doubt and stress so they could easily accomplish all the things they've been dreaming about accomplishing. Most of my writing sessions were done in a calm, meditative state, and it's part of the reason I had the book written so quickly, even though I only had a few hours each week to dedicate to it. There is wisdom right at your fingertips that you can learn to access at will, whether it is meditation, journaling, exercise, or a guided visualization that helps you access your inner mentor. Start talking to her today. And you can use your inner wisdom for your 2019 goals. You can also tap into your inner wisdom as you craft your 2019 goals. And if you're at the workshop I'm doing on December 4th in Portland, Maine, you will definitely be accessing your inner wisdom and that of the 32 other women who will be there. If you want to come out strong in 2019, you're going to want to set your goals for next year before the new year starts. December is the perfect time to plan, prepare, and get excited about the year to come. For me, goal setting is a process that gives me more clarity and structure around what is going to bring me to life. That's why I call my goal setting process creating goals that are worthy of you. Goals that are worthy of you are exciting and feel good. You are called and compelled to achieve a goal that is worthy of you. It gives you that extra bounce to do what needs to be done. Goal setting is the support system to playing big. It is because of my ability to set these personalized goals that I've been able to run a marathon, start a business, launch a podcast, write a book, become a national speaker and workshop facilitator, as well as this year do 1,000 burpees in one workout, increase the profits in my business, and do a live event. My goal setting system is very personalized because the goals that have brought me to life are not the goals that will bring you to life. This process will help you to create and achieve goals that are a perfect fit for you. It's time to toss out the old arbitrary formula for setting goals and create goals that not only represent who you are and the life you want to live, they will guide you to let go of who you are not and old patterns that don't serve you as you move toward your goal. In this workshop, you and I will explore what has worked and not worked for you in the past. We'll create goals that are what you want for yourself rather than what others want for you. You'll learn how to leverage your superpowers in the attainment of your goal. You'll create a way to track your progress, to sustain momentum, and identify who you need to be to achieve your goals. This is missing from most goal-setting systems, and it is a crucial part to your success. This process is going to reveal your highest self. If you are done with suffering through the struggle of goals that are not aligned with your strengths or dealing with the heartbreak of an unattained goal, this workshop is for you. Now, this is happening on Tuesday, December 4th of 2018 from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And the doors are going to open at 8:30 so you can come in, get settled, have some food and refreshments, and start meeting the other people who are going to be a part of this workshop. It's going to happen at the Co-workers co-working space on Congress Street in Portland, and all-day parking at the Temple Street Garage is included in the price of the workshop, so you don't have to worry about finding a place to park park or out-of-pocket expenses for that. It's all taken care of. Now, the price of the workshop is $175, but right now there is an early bird rate of $125, and that's going to run until November 23rd. However, the space can only hold 32 participants and tickets have already been sold. So don't wait for the last minute to register. Get signed up right now. And you can do that by going to womentakingthelead.com/goals 2019. And again, that's womentakingthelead.com/GOALS 2019 to reserve your seat. Okay, as always, I hope this was of value to you, and here's to your success. Thank you all for joining me on Women Taking the Lead. And to strengthen you on your own leadership journey, I'd like to send you off with a quote from Marianne Williamson, so here goes. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Again, thank you for joining me, and here's to your success.